Just how dangerous, we don't know yet, because that's how they release technology. As long as it doesn't kill you instantly or almost instantly, it's deemed safe for sale. And then it's 5, 10, 20 years later, we learn that it causes cancer, autism, birth defects, and more. But by that point, we've become so dependent on the technology, we choose to live with the disease. But these exposures, these are crazy.
I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS whom I learned from. Shalom to the hopeful elect preaching this word in truth and sincerity. And to you rib sisters out there learning silence and staying in order. Right, this is a show, Dr. Phil, how they're speaking about implanting people and the effects of it. So this show here is basically to just introduce people to this and put everything on the table, because eventually you're going to have to make a decision, right? You're going to have to decide whether this is for you, not for you, right? And the best way to get people to accept this thing is to present the problem at first, let everybody observe it, and then they come up with a solution with everybody's concerns, right? So you could widely accept this thing. That is the goal and agenda. That's why you see little things like this, where they use the TV to acclimate people into thinking things is okay. Back in the days, I forgot what year, I want to say like the 50s, in the TV, they were saying that smoking cigarettes is okay while pregnant, while in schools and all these things. And, and they knew that smoking was definitely causing all kind of ailments and sicknesses, to a point where they were forced to put the warning label on there, but at that point they already gotten the people acclimated to smoking, right? Everybody knows that cigarettes kill and they still do it. That's how you control the people. Right, you get them hooked on something, you give it to them, they like it, and then you tell them, hey, you know what, it's dangerous. Cell phones, all these things. You give this technology to the people, later on you tell them that it causes tumors and ADD and all these other things. Right, but at that point it's too late. People are so used to their lifestyle that there's just so much going on, right, where they're spraying things in the air. We don't know what that's doing to our body, and making us complacent. Prisons and prison food have medicines inside of it to how do I say it? Basically to suppress testosterone and make people more submissive to the system. Right, there's a lot. It goes deep, man. The rabbit hole goes deep. But besides the point, we're on this subject, on the motb, right? How they're using TV shows like Dr. Phil to acclimate people, to get people ready for the system. It's moving fast. Akim, Salak is Akim, not Akim. What the hell was I thinking? But yeah, man. Let me just keep playing this.
We're talking about literally inside the body. Point blank range with zero distance. Day in, day out for years on end. What impact will that have? We don't know, but I can tell you it won't be good.
Well, we're back talking about technology under our skin. And my next guest, who you just saw, says the electromagnetic frequency in technology is bad for your health. So much so that he doesn't have a microwave. So joining us on stage is R, who believes human microchipping is dangerous and technology needs to be safer.
Hold that. So Dr. Phil just basically put a tin hat over this man, without the man even noticing. I don't know if they know each other and this is pre-planned. Who knows? But Dr. Phil just put a one of those tinfoil hats on him. He said he don't even use a microwave, which that's probably what he said. But here we go. We have a basically discrediting comment, right? As to whatever this man says, just remember, he wears a tin hat, so don't listen to him.
To your health, so much so that he doesn't have a microwave. So joining us on stage is R, who believes human microchipping is dangerous and technology needs to be safer to use. You said we don't know what the effects are, but we know they're not good. How do you know they're not good?
Well, we now know, I mean, we have decades of science now on the health effects of EMF radiation. We're talking about thousands of studies at this point, high quality, peer reviewed science that links these exposures to numerous negative health outcomes, ranging from infertility and anxiety all the way up to multiple types of cancer and tumors and Alzheimer's disease and many, many more.
But wait a minute. You're saying that in broad generalization, and that's can be true if you're bombarded with really high levels. That's not true for people just sitting here under these lights.
So what I'm talking about, the science I'm talking about, is that exposures at multiple orders of magnitude lower than what safety standards allow, and then what you would get from a regular cell phone.
I think we can just nip this all in the bud right now because these devices are passive. That means when they're not in the seconds of exposure of a very low frequency, low power field, they're dead. They're inert. They have no energy whatsoever.
So what does having that chip in your body for 20 years do on average to a population of 20,000 people?
Nothing. We know we've used this exact material since the 70s. There's been almost zero evidence of any kind of irritation. In fact, this material...
My understanding is that there's multiple studies dating from the 90s and the early 2000s demonstrating increased rates of tumor growth.
No, those are incorrect.
And
Actually,
what
what
studies
they've
are you referring to?
I'm talking about, well, I think...
Yeah, so there are 3 studies that were referenced, but these are all studies that were tumor studies in animals either genetically engineered to get tumors in order to study the tumors or chemically induced tumors. The outcomes of the studies were noted that, oh, you know what, around the implants in these animals we're using to ID them, there were a tumor, but alongside 50 other tumors in these bodies. And it wasn't all, it was about 8% of those animals. So it was just a note in the study. But there are people that want to benefit off of this, people that write certain kind of books and certain kind of scare tactics, and they use these studies to say, look, it's bad, and this is all coming for you, and we want to sell you a book.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description.
You see how the devil plays both sides? It's acclimating. That's what the goal is. Right? We know what's coming. Eventually, this is not going to be a choice, not even a conversation. It's not going to be any of that. It's going to be either you eat or don't eat. And you got to make a choice. Right? What side you on? Go to Revelations 13. Right? 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, have he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right, that's the end goal. We have people like ISUPK who said they're gonna get the chip. Oh my God. Salakia. I hope I didn't just stop the video recording. Nope, it's still recording. Alright, cool. So, yeah, we got people like ISUPK saying that you could get the chip because it's not the mark of the beast. You know, a lot of Hebrew Israelite groups believe that. But I believe a lot of the groups will not take it. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 2. It says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment." Right? You're going to cause people to basically go off, man, because you're supposed to be the shepherd, and you're leading them down this path, man. Same thing with the vaccine. When the vaccines was given out, you know, these 501c3 groups like ICBK, IUIC, they was advocating for it, saying we need to get this in order to travel, or we need to get this in order to preach the gospel. You don't need anything, right? You don't have to defile your body to preach the gospel, man. I don't think that's, you know, if Yahushua was here, you wouldn't even think that way. And that's the mentality that we need to have. You know, act as if Yahushua is here with us, man. That way we don't do certain things. You know, just because the Lord is, you know, just because you don't think the Lord can't see you, you know, but, you know, the eyes of the Lord is like it's brighter than the sun. And a lot of people, you know, they tend to forget that, man. Gross darkness. With that, I'm going to say shalom.